Hey guys, we're back on our program, uh, Marriage Problems and Likely Solution. I just want to appreciate most of my viewers, your contribution, your likeness, and the feedback I'm receiving from you. It's so encouraging. Thank you so much. And I want to employ every one of my viewers to please subscribe. If you have never subscribed, please try to do, and try to share the video. Don't let it be only benefit to you. Let it be of benefit to so many other people. There are a lot of people that are going through one thing or the other in their marriage. And I believe if you can be of help, you can be of help to them by sending this this recorded video to them. Let them see, let them hear, let them there's some things. Some things are going on in the life of so many people that they cannot even disclose or discuss with anybody. But it will be a privilege if they see things like this. It might likely be in line with their problem, and it will really help them to move their life forward. So thank you so much. Like I said one more time, please try to share and subscribe. God bless you. Today I'm going to be discussing an issue. I have a discussion with a friend. You know, most of the people that are contributing towards this program, they are very close people. And some of them, they don't even send messages to me. Instead, sometimes when they see me, they challenge me. Sometimes last week, I met a friend and we were discussing that the program you are doing is about keeping home together, about marriage, something like that. Then he threw a question to me, which I count to be very interesting anyway. Then he said, in abusive marriage, say, what do I expect the person involved, that is the receiving end, what do I expect him or her to do in a situation like that? So do I expect him or her to still remain in the marriage? I tried to explain to some extent to him, but I believe I'm going to do more better by coming on program today, because it's a very good question, which I believe is going to be of benefit to so many people. So many people are undergoing things like that in their marriages. So that's what I'm going to be discussing today. But first, let me based on my research, let me read out what I can define as a domestic violence or abuse. So let me read that to you. Domestic violence is an abuse act between family member, ex-spouse, intimate, cohabitant, dating couple in which one party seeks to gain or maintain power and control over other partner. I want you to notice that area. In which one party seeks to gain, maintain power and control over other partner. The purpose of domestic violence, mostly what causes domestic violence, what is going to be the gain of whoever that is exhibiting such attitude is for him or her to gain power and control over other partner. Not any other thing. So when we are talking of domestic, there are so many things that can be categorized as a domestic violence or abuse. So it can be a physical, sexual, emotional, economic, or psychological action, or threat of action that influence another person. This includes any behavior that intimidates, manipulate, humiliate, isolate, frighten, terrorize, threaten, blame, hurt, injure, or wound someone. Can you see the categories? So there are so many things that can be categorized as domestic violence. And there are so many ways people can display it. Ordinarily, one thing I believe about domestic, That's something some people does, and people will say that's his behavior. In the case of domestic violence or abuse, I discover that it's never a behavior. It's never a behavior. You can't say it's somebody that is his normal behavior. No. Something motivates or indict the person to act in such a behavior. It might be alcoholic. The person might be so alcoholic, maybe when he's drunk, or maybe when he have intention of doing bad, he get drunk, then he can be able to exhibit that behavior on his or her partner. It can be a drug addict person. Maybe when he get drunk, when he get drunk or getting instead being drunk, so that's when the attitude mostly come up. Sometimes it's out of depression or frustration that makes some people get drunk. And when they exhibit that attitude, some intentionally want to exhibit the attitude. So they can't do it ordinarily. So they have to get drunk or get themselves drunk for them to be able to do it. And some don't have intention, because when they get over whatever they take, when they get over it, they feel bad of whatever behavior they are displaying. Some are intentional, some are unintentional. But it's not a habit that we can call a natural behavior. Something negates to the action. And some might be probably what they have seen, maybe through their parents, or unfortunately living with some people that abuse their partner. So they believe it's normal. They cultivate a habit from there. They don't see it to be anything bad. Maybe their father used to beat their mom. They believe it's normal. To suppress woman, you need to beat her. That was what they had in mind on their head. Some people believe women should not have say when they are talking. Even when you condemn your woman or your man, don't let me be so precise about woman now, because back home in Africa, men always have an upper hand. But in the Western world, it's contrary. Women have upper hand. Women also abuse their husband. In the Western world, they oppress their husband. They have say. They dictate what their husband should do. Unless those who are well understanding, they have understanding between themselves. It's happen. You see, it's on both sides. It can be men, it can be women. But whoever that is exhibiting such attitude to oppress others in getting control is an abuser. And like I was saying, some people, such an idea, such attitude get into them through what they saw when they were growing. Or maybe they live with an abuser. Maybe their father used to abuse their mom, or their mom used to abuse their father, whichever way. So they believe it is normal. They can talk down on their wife in the public. Within the family, it's an abuse. There are so many things you do to ridicule your partner. It's an abuse. To gain control over finances is an abuse. Sexual abuse. Some people do rape their wife. They will tell you, it's my wife. Which is not normal. You're supposed to get each other conscience before going into anything sexual relationship. But in a situation whereby you force yourself on somebody, that's an abuse. So there are so many things we can categorize to be an abuse, which is very bad, which is not normal. Then the question, according to my friend now, is it normal for a partner to remain in a marriage, in an abusive marriage? That's the question. Is it normal for any partner to remain in an abusive marriage? I will say yes, I will say no. I will say yes in the sense that if what is happening is something you guys can eventually sit down and talk over, or you have somebody who can be of help to counsel both of you, probably, maybe, because situation like that, you don't keep it to yourself. You try to talk to somebody. You might talk to a counselor. If you try to talk to your husband, if you try to see, you do everything possible for him or her to change. If he or she doesn't change, I will advise you go look for a counselor, or probably maybe it's your pastor you believe maybe your partner can listen to, or maybe you have any of the family member that are very close to your partner that you believe can be of help to talk to him or her. You can put that on trial to see if things gonna change. But any abusive or domestic violence that is life-threatening, that is life-threatening. Get the word life-threatening. Life-threatening can be of any form. Maybe you're always beating you up, using the word like, I'm going to kill you one day, any threatening word, or using any object that you believe can lead to death. I will advise you check out of the house first, because it's only the living soul that can tell story. If anything happened to you, eventually, the excuse will be it's a mistake. Even though you might end up getting justice, but I'm telling you, you have gone already. So you have to scare of your life. You have to try to move out, at least to protect your life, to protect yourself. You check out of the house first. Then you can now from there take any other necessary steps to amend the situation. If you believe it's still justified, maybe in the process, you can say his mind, maybe when you guys visited a counselor or family member coming into a situation to see what is going on. If you can say his mind or her mind why he's behaving or she's behaving that way, if it is something that you believe is reasonable enough, probably for you guys to come back together, fine. You can resolve the issue. But if you believe completely your life is not safe with such a partner, I will never encourage you to stay in the marriage. Let me be sincere with you. As much as we are doing everything possible to make marriage work, your life is more important. I will never ever advise that you stay in abusive or domestic violence marriages that can lead to death. Because somebody that is beating, fighting, doing accidentally, anything can happen. Somebody threatening can one day probably execute what is in mind. Maybe intentionally or unintentionally. Out of anger, anything can happen. The only excuse that will come up eventually is it was a mistake. But the deed has been done. So in a situation like that, I will advise move out of the house, then now seek for solution by meeting maybe a counselor, pastor, if possibly, any of the family member that you know can be of, that can intervene, that the person really respects, that can listen to, not just any family member, not just any family member. And they talk to him or her. If you see on your, because you are in the shoe, you know better. If you believe this is not good enough for you, you don't want to take another chances, then you stay out of the marriage, because you need to live to be able to tell the story. It's only a living soul that can tell story. It's only very few abusers that can change. Not every, because they love to oppress. That is their, that it has become a nature. They don't believe in sitting down, talking amicably on any situation. They take everything by force. So if you are considering the person because of the children or because of what is in between you, but if it's going to affect your life, that's going to lead to death, you see that this thing is the way it's going is going to lead to your death. I appreciate. I mean, I will advise you to check out of the marriage. If you move out, you cannot find any solution to what the problem is. Just, you know, you are in the shoe. You know what best to do. You know what best to do. I think if my friend is watching this program, I think he can better understand my view concerning abusive marriages or domestic violence in marriages. It's not supported by me. I do not encourage it, and I do not encourage anybody to stay in it until the fan is dead. Although marriage is all about for better, for worse. Even though it's for better, for worse, it's not for better to kill or for better to death. I think that is what I can say concerning domestic violence or abuse in marriages. So I want to thank you, my viewer, for sitting back to watch the video. And I will appreciate, like I always been saying, please try to subscribe and share with people. You can always subscribe on ajlive65@yahoo.com, ajlive65@yahoo.com. So you just go in there, click on it, subscribe, and your messages will be so much appreciated. Try to send your message. Let me hear your view. I might not be right. It's just my opinion. So put in your opinion too. Let us see what is going on. Let us share ideas. So I think that's all I can say for today anyway. Thank you so much. Until we see next time, I say thank you and God bless. Bye-bye.